Sing along. Ashreinu matoiv chelkeinu umanoim be'aleinu. Ashreinu matoiv chelkeinu umanoim be'aleinu. Ashreinu matoiv chelkeinu umanoim be'aleinu. Umayofe Yerushaseinu. Umayofe Yerushaseinu. Welcome to our Kumzitz. Ashreinu matoiv chelkeinu. Ashreinu, how happy we are. Matoiv chelkeinu. That we're Yidden, and that we've got Chodesh Elul, that we've got the month of Elul, and that we're coming, that Hashem, our loving Father, Avinu Avarachamon, has given us this incredible opportunity of Elul and Rosh Hashanah to press the restart button, to reconfigure ourselves, to realign ourselves with our purpose, with our tafkid, with why we're here in the world. And tonight, I want you to open your hearts and your minds. Although a kumzitz is about kumzitz, you're calling people, come and zitz with me. Come and sit with me together, and let's open our hearts together, and let's sing along together, and let's rejoice, let's celebrate, and let's call out to our Father, Avinu Shebashamayim, together. Today we find ourselves in different circumstances, and we've got to use whatever we can to join ourselves together, to come together in this incredible way. And Hamayan has gone, my beloved, dear Hamayan has gone out of their way to create a forum, to create a way to enable us, at least in this virtual way, to come together, to kum and zitz together and sing together. So Chevra, open your hearts, let's sing together, let's hear words of Torah together, let's be mechazik ourselves together in these last few precious days of Elul, leading up to Slichas, leading up to Rosh Hashanah, leading up to Yom Kippur. As the tzaddikim used to say, LeDavid Hashem oiri v'yishi. Oiri is this is what we say every day after we blow the shofar. Oiri is Rosh Hashanah, the light is Rosh Hashanah, and Yishi, my day of salvation, is Yom Kippur. What a beautiful way to look at these precious days. Not as days, heavy days, depressing days, days where sometimes many people have a thought in their head. Rosh Hashanah is a time where God's sitting up there, the Hashem sitting up there with a zapper and ready to zap us for everything we've done wrong throughout the year. On the contrary, Avinu Avarachamon is our beloved Father who only wants to be mashpia, a chef of toiv and bracha on each and every one of us. You know, Chevra, I saw a beautiful word from the Heilige Kedushas Levi. Rabbi Levi Yitzchak ben Sarasasha, just to say his name is Ma'ore Rachamim, just to say his name, Tzaddikim said, to say the holy name of Rabbi Levi Yitzchak ben Sarasasha from Bedichev is enough to be mamtik, to sweeten any dinim, any gzeiros on a person or on Klal Yisrael. So how much more so if we can learn a Torah from the Heilige Kedushas Levi. In this week's parasha, the Torah says, "V'haya im shamoya tishma b'koil Hashem Elokecha." If you will listen to the voice of Hashem, your God. And he quotes the Gemara in Chagiga. The Gemara in Chagiga says that there's a bas kol, heavenly voice, that comes out from Har Chorev every single day and says, "Shuvu banim shoivavim." Come back to me, my wayward children. And he says that really every Jew, zoiche lefi madregasa, according to his level, to hear this bas kol every day, to sense it, to feel it out. The Gemara in Megillah says that even you might not hear it, but your muzzle hears it. Your neshama hears it, senses it. Says Rabbi Levi Yitzchak that when a person has a hisoirus, a feeling of tshuva, a feeling that he wants to come close to the Ribono Shel Olam, that's his neshama triggering in, focusing in, picking up that frequency of the bas kol from Har Chorev, saying Shuvu banim shoivavim. But says the Heilige Rebbe, Rabbi Levi Yitzchak from Bedichev, the Kedushas Levi, he says that V'haya is a lashon of simcha. Vayehi is a lashon of atzvus and depression. Vayehi b'mei Achashverosh. It was in the days of Achashverosh, as the Megillah starts. But V'haya is a lashon of simcha. How do you sensitize yourself to hear this bas kol? Is when a Jew is besimcha. V'haya. If you're besimcha, shamoya tishma b'kol Hashem, you're going to hear the voice of the Ribono Shel Olam. So let's open up our hearts, besimcha, approach these days besimcha, that I have an opportunity to right the wrong, that I have an opportunity to cleanse myself, that I have an opportunity to press restart, that I have an opportunity to come close and reconnect with the Ribono Shel Olam, with Doidi, with Anila Doidi, my beloved friend, my Yedid Nefesh, Avinu Av Rachamon. Let's sing a few songs and then we'll continue further from there. Hashivenu Hashem Shemelecha v'nashuva Oichadesh Yameinu Chadesh Meinu That a bit higher so that the neshama can sing really me'umka deliver. say Hashivenu, Hashem Eilecha, Venoshuva. Hashem, come back to us, and then you'll see Venoshuva. We're living in a time of Hester Ponim, Hester Shebetoicha Hester. One concealment within another concealment. And a Jew, it's hard for us to feel that closeness that the Eibishter B'chlal wants, that Hashem wants a relationship with us. Hashivenu Hashem Eilecha. But Hashem, turn to us. Pull away those maseichos, pull away the masks, pull away the barriers that separate us from each other, from you. Venashuva, you see, every Yidala, he's going to run towards you and he's going to sing. You know, I think to myself, we're living in these funny times, in these strange times where many of us are in lockdown, we can't see our family, can't daven in shul, a minyan, and some people can look at it and become a little bit, depressed, chas v'shalom, down, and a Jew has to have the right perspective. When a Jew understands Hakol bidei Shamayim chutz mi'yirei Shamayim, when we understand that there is nothing, when we understand that everything is in the hands of Hashem except for Yirei Shamayim, and Yirei Shamayim means our response to anything. Last year I spoke at a shul, and as I walked into the shul, a worried member of the community came up to me and he says, Rabbi, I need to speak to you. He says to me that he heard that on Rosh Hashanah, everything is programmed for the coming year on Rosh Hashanah. And he told me that on the first, I spoke second night Rosh Hashanah, he told me last night, we had guests, and my wife came in with a tray with the soup, and all the soup spilt. And I'm panicking, I haven't been able to sleep, I'm anxious and I'm worried. Is this going to be every week when she comes in and she brings the soup for Shabbos or for Yom Tov, the soup's going to spill? Is now we've programmed that that's what's going to happen? And I told him, my dear friend, listen to me carefully. Whether or not the soup spilled or not is beyond your control. What you can control is how you respond to the soup spilling. And that is what we're programming on Rosh Hashanah for the coming year. On Rosh Hashanah, we're going to experience many different things. We're going to experience davening by ourselves. We're going to experience our children around, perhaps disturbing our tefillahs or enhancing our tefillahs. We're going to have all different challenges and opportunities that are going to come this Rosh Hashanah. And this Rosh Hashanah, you are programming your response. How you're going to respond to all these different challenges that Hashem configures for you throughout the year, you're going to be programming now on Rosh Hashanah. And perhaps that's why on Rosh Hashanah this year, we're all at home, by ourselves. As Moshe Khan said last night so beautifully, that you're not going to have your rabbi around, you're not going to have your chazan around, who normally inspires you. The inspiration is going to have to come from you. The inspiration is going to have to come from within you. Because this is a year, hopefully a year of Geula. And for a year of Geula to come, the motivation, Hashem's turning to each and every one of us and telling us, how much do you really want it? How deep and desperate are you for that relationship with me? How much do you want it, mein Kind? Forget about it. You don't have your friend sitting next to you. You don't have your community around you to motivate you and to prompt you up and to push you from behind. It's all about you. There's nowhere to hide this Rosh Hashanah. It's you and the Ribbon Shalom in an authentic, real relationship. A relationship where you're going to become one, but it's a matter of our perspective. It's how we look at it. Do we look at it and come into Rosh Hashanah, God forbid, down and depressed? Or do we come in dancing into Rosh Hashanah at a simcha that I've got now a year, an opportunity to show you how much I love you, Ribono Shel Olam, how much I love you and how much I want a relationship with you. And perhaps this little story can help us figure this out or connect with it. Yankele, he came home one day and he was so down he could hardly walk through the door. His wife looked at him and she said, Yankele, what's happened? What's the matter with you, Yankele? And Yankele couldn't say anything. All he could do was sing this niggun. Ya na 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 ti na 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 mo no ah na ni ho ya ma 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 ya ma 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 mo yo 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 ti na na mo yo mo yo yo ho yo 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 mo yo yo ti na ni na mo. And his wife says to him, Yankele, that's terrible. You brought me to tears, Yankele. But you can't go on like this anymore. You have to go and speak to your Rebbe. You have to go and share your problems with your Rebbe, and maybe your Rebbe will have advice for you. How you can get out of this darkness. So Yankele takes his coat and he walks one trudge after one step after the other to his Rebbe, not knowing how he's going to even be able to hold back the tears as he comes into his Rebbe. And along the way he's singing to himself, Ya na 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 mo yo yo, oh yo 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 mo yo yo, oh yo 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 mo yo 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 mo yo, oh yo yo. And he knocks on the door of his Rebbe's house, and he comes in. The Rebbe looks at him, and already the Rebbe knows straight away something's just not right. And he asks Yankele, what's the matter, Yankele? I haven't seen you like this in a very long time. Share with me, please, what's going on? What's the matter? And all Yankele could say, through his tears, Ya na 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 mo yo yo, oh yo 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 mo yo yo, oh yo 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 mo yo 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 mo yo, oh yo yo. The Rebbe tells him, Yankele, stop there. Stop right there, don't sing anymore. You see, you got it all wrong, Yankele. You got the niggun all wrong. The notes are right, but you're not singing the niggun right, Yankele. The niggun, Yankele, goes like this. Chiribim, chiribam, chiribim, bam, bim, bam, bim, bam, bam. Chiribim, chiribam, bam, bam, chiribim, bam, bim, bam, bam. Chiribim, bim, 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 bam, 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 bam. And Yankele, the Rebbe grabs Yankele, and together in the room they start dancing away. Ya na 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 na, ya na 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 na, ya na 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 na. Chitty bim bam bim bam bi da 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 da, bim bam bi da da, bim bam bi da da, bim bam bam. Yankele gives his Rebbe a big hug, and he thanks him so much. And all the way home, Yankele's dancing away home. The people in the street are looking at him like he's gone Mashiach, but he doesn't mind. He's got a smile on his face, and he's and Yankele dances into his house. He almost knocks over the table as he comes in. And his wife tells him, Yankele, please, what did the Rebbe tell you? Yankele, what did the Rebbe tell you? And Yankele breaks out in song and dance, and Every year Hashem gives us the notes. He gives us the, what's it called, the score sheet, the notes. He gives us the sheets with all the music. He gives us all the notes. And it's up to us how we're going to play that song. How we're going to play the melody. Each and every one of us, how are we going to play our melody for that year? Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, I've started giving a shiur in Likutei Moran, and it's unbelievable how the words of Rabbi Nachman resonate in the hearts and souls of thousands of Jews all around the world.
Amen.
And there's a Torah Rosh, Samech Ches, where, you know what, let's get it out here, I've got it here with me. There are a few svarim that you should have on your stender with you, or around in the house, especially on Rosh Hashanah, as a schus for you. And definitely one of them is a Likutei Moran. The Rebbe says, Reish Samaches, Keshe'ein ha'adam mistakel al ha'tachlis, lama lo chayim. When a person loses focus of his tachlis, of why one has come into this world, lama lo chayim. Why do we need life? V'hinei ha'nefesh mizgargaz tamid lasois retzoin yotzro. And the nefesh, the soul, all it wants to do is to do the Ratzon Hashem. All it wants to do is come into this world and fulfill its mission that it's been sent into the world to do. But when the neshama sees that the guf, who's meant to be its partner to fulfill this mission, is not interested, all it wants to do is to go back to its shorish. It wants to go back to where it came from. ומזה נחלה האדם. And that's how a person becomes sick. Because when the guf and the neshama are not aligned, when the guf and the neshama are not in sync, we reach a state of illness. And this can be physical illness, and it can be what our generation is suffering perhaps more than any other generation before, is mental health and issues of mental health and mental well-being, where it seems that our guf and our neshama are not in sync. We've lost that connection. They're not aligned anymore. Where we've lost focus of what is the tachlis. Why am I here? Says Rabbi Nachman that when the neshama though feels that the person goes to a doctor and he's willing to swallow a heavy pill, he makes an appointment to go to a psychologist or to make an appointment with his Rebbe and to open his heart, and he wants to fix and right the wrong, the neshama sees if the guf is willing to swallow the bitter pill, then maybe it's also willing to partner with me in my mission. And he finishes off, Al kain choizeres elav, the neshama returns to him, and it expects, it hopes that the person will now refocus, redirect, in order to fulfill the true tachlis, the true purpose, la'asos retzoin yotzrav yizbarach, to do the Ratzon Hashem. And that's what we just sang. Haneshama lach ve'aguf pe'alach. The neshama is for you, and the guf pe'alach is to do your Ratzon. Chusa, have rachmanas ala malach on your children, on your nation. Hashem, see that throughout our lifetime, maybe Tavshin Pei was a hard year, and true, the neshama and the guf, they strayed a little bit further and further away. But all we want to do is to return, is to come close. Tshuva is a lashon of return. Toshuv Hey, to return the Hey, that final Hey of Yud, Kei, Vav, Kei, that final Hey. You know, as I'm saying this, I'm thinking to myself, I've shared this idea with many people. Rav Aryeh says, the Yud is like the little coin. The Hey is the 5 hands, the 5 fingers of the Gvir, the wealthy person who's coming to take that coin and extend his arm, is the Vav, into the hands of the Ani, of the poor person. And all Hashem wants to do in this world is to give us coins, to give us shefa, to give us those little notes into our life, to just flow it. But when we take our hand and we go and look for those coins or for those notes elsewhere, then we break up the Shem Hashem, the Yud, the Hey, the Vav, and that Hey, which is us, the final Hey is us, to receive that shefa, that blessing, that flow of blessings in our life. We go and we look for it elsewhere, somewhere else. Elul and Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur is about saying, Ribono Shel Olam, I've looked everywhere and I still feel empty. I'm still struggling with my health and my mental health well-being. And I recognize and I realize that the only way to be aligned is to tshuva, to take toshuv Hey, to take this Hey, my hand, and come back and reunite it with you. Because all I want is to return again. All I want is to return to you, Hashem. That's what it's all about. Let me just find it. This has to be probably one of my favorite Kalabach Nigunim. Return to the land return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to where you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Relive the lives of your fathers before you lived with the words of Hashem. On the lips they said, Hashem, Kohanim, Lavodah Ulevim, Leshiram, Leshiram, Ulezichram. Hashem Yisrael, Hashem Yisrael, Hashem Yisrael, Hashem Yisrael, Hashem Yisrael, Hashem Yisrael, return again. It's all the neshama wants. It's just to return to Hashem. And we don't have to stand in the way. We just got to let it. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Sing with me, Chavra. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to where you are, return to what you are, born and reborn again. Relive the lives of your fathers before you, who lived with the words of Hashem. On the lips they said, return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. You know, I was saying before that there's nothing that Hashem wants more than to be mashpia on us, Toiv. The Ramchal says that the purpose, we don't know really why Hashem created the world. From what we know, Mederech HaToiv LaHeitiv, ultimate good wants to do good as well. And there's no more good than the Ribbon Hashem himself. And he created a world because all he wants to do is to mashpia Toiv, to give of that good to us. The most painful thing, as any parent knows, is when the parent wants to give to the child and the child turns its shoulder around and doesn't want to accept the Toiv that the parent wants to give. It's the most painful thing that a parent can go through. As a teacher, the hardest thing is when you've prepared a class and you're inspired and you're motivated to teach, and you know that this lesson could make such an incredible difference to the lives of your students, and all they do is they turn their shoulder and they ignore the message. Hashem just wants to mashpia. All he wants to do is teach us that class. All he wants to do is give us that gift. And we're going to make sure that we don't turn around that shoulder. There's a Gemara that says that on Shabbos night, when a Yid comes home from shul and he says Vayechulu, two malachim come and they put their hands on his head and they give him a bracha. And the Gemara says that they moichel him, they forgive him, Hashem forgives him for all of his avoinas, for all of his aveiras. And this Gemara is often like blown me away. Just coming in and saying the words of Vayechulu, that's it. All my aveiras, everything from that week gets absolved. How can it be such a thing? And based on what we are thinking about, I think it makes a lot of sense. Hashem wants to be Mashpia Tov. Shabbos Kodesh is a day. Hashem has a special treasure chest in his treasure chest, and he wants to share it with Klal Yisrael. Hashem tells Moshe Rabbeinu, Lech hoidiyam, go and tell them over about this gift of Shabbos. Shabbos is a day which is kulei tov. It's a day where Hashem just wants to be mashpia on us tov. When a Jew goes through the whole week we're taking those 5 fingers and we're looking for that tov in the whole world, all over the world, in business, in music, in whatever it is that each and every one of us are searching for that tov. On Shabbos Kodesh, a Yid comes home and he says, Hashem, I've spent my whole week searching, and I've come to the conclusion that the tov is Shabbos. Shabbos boy tashuvu. The letters of Shabbos, Shin Beis Tov. Shabbos boy tashuvu. On Shabbos I return back to you. I come back to you because I realize that all the shefa, all the tov, the ultimate tov, is only through being connected to you. And Hashem says, Mein Kind, my dear child, He sends His malachim to put their hands on your holy head and to wipe away all the averas of the week, all those things that it will block and not allow the shefa to come down on Shabbos Kodesh. Get rid of them, so that each and every one of us can experience the beauty of Shabbos Kodesh, the dveikus of Shabbos Kodesh, in the most beautiful way that we bring in Shabbos Kodesh with those heilige malachim. Let's greet these malachim. Let them put their hands on your holy head and let them wipe away any of the avedas that have crept in. You know, Chavah, one of the biggest challenges is when we try and it just doesn't go. We try and we try and we try again, and we want to get closer, and we want to get higher, and we want to come close, and it just almost seems impossible. That as soon as I get like so close, I feel like I'm pushed away. I'm just like pushed away. And I try and I pick myself up and I try again and again. It reminds me of a story, Rabbi from Mishlan. A chassid once came to him and said, Rebbe, I try so much. I try to pick myself up and walk and come closer to you, Hashem. And as I feel like I'm just about in your embrace, I feel like you're taking a step back. Rabbi from Mishlan, the Rebbe told him, he said, my heilige chassid, listen carefully. Have you ever taught your child to walk before? How does that happen? How do you teach your child to walk? So the chassid said, I stand there, I hold my hands out wide, and I wait for my kid to get up, and as I see that he's just about to come close, I take a step back. Oh, and why are you doing that? Because I want him to walk. And the Rebbe from Mishlan turned to the chassid and he told him, the same thing is with each and every one of us. Hashem wants us so close, but He wants us to come higher and higher, to come closer to Him. He wants us to bring ourselves higher and higher and closer and closer. And He knows there'll be obstacles on the way. And He knows that there'll be things on the way that will stop us and prevent us and stand in the way. But He wants us to keep on yearning to come higher and higher and closer and closer. Tzaddik v'kam. The tzaddik has to fall, and only when he falls can he pick himself up again. That's the difference between a tzaddik, someone who's not. The persistence, the belief. says, and Shivchei Aran, listen to these words, listen to these holy words. I'm going to read it out because it's so pure and so beautiful, and it so talks like to you and me. I hear these, I see like I could have written these words. Eilu haroitzim liyos anoshim kshe Hashem. Those who want to be good Jews and want to come close to serving the Ribono Shel Olam, v'azai yesh lahem bilbulim, gedolim, umeniyos gedolos. But they're all confused and they've got all these different bilbulim that come inside their mind. And they're so confused, and they so don't have a derech, and they are so in the forest, in the dark forest, that they have no eitzah how to get out and creep out of where they're at. And whatever they want to do to serve God, it's so difficult. He says like this. Know that the fact that we persist and that we don't give up and that we keep on trying, even though they can't finish, that is a korban. David HaMelech says, we kill ourselves for you every single day. Hashem, every time a Jew strengthens himself and rejects a taiva, because he wants to come, because she wants to come close to you, it's a korban. They're bringing a korban to you. Ve'isa batikunim shezeh bechinas tefillah, she bechinas korbanos. Hainu kesheroitzim liispalo, when a Jew wants to daven, ve'ein manichim oisoi, and the Yetzer Hara doesn't let him, umevalbelim oisoi, and they come and they start all giving him all different confusion. Bekama minei bilbulim v'utzorech lekama yigirz b'shas atfilah. V'azai afilu im einu zoiche liispalo karaoi. Even if he can't daven as he wants to, he can't express from the depths of his heartfelt love for Hashem as he truly wants to. What he strives to do and his efforts, that itself, the trying for Hashem is a korban. The challenges that he goes through, that she goes through, that is what brings a person to that point of korban. And I want to finish with this because these words are so holy and are so precious. Therefore, all Hashem wants to do is that you should do what you need to do. All Hashem is asking is for 100% commitment. Hashem is asking, please be 100% committed to the cause, to me, to your cause, to your mission. And whatever is within your hands to do, do. Even though it's so difficult for you. And it seems that they're not letting you do your mission. And it appears like they're pushing you away from doing your mission. You have to do what you need to do. And listen to these precious words. And Hashem will do what's good in His eyes to do. Hashem wants to see how much are you willing to show your relationship. How much do you want to come close? What we need to do is we need to daven to Hashem. Hashem imkoimcha. Toifi Hashem, come out from your hiding place. Come out from your hiding place. Timlo echaleinu. Be that king, begilui, in a revealed way. When are you going to already timlo echaleinu, so that we can have that open relationship with you together? is Yom Adin. It's a day of judgment. Din, we know there's Din and there's Chesed. Din is Hashem's strictness, His discipline. He's that, you know what, maybe you don't deserve this. Hashem on Rosh Hashanah, the judgment is, do we deserve this world? Do we deserve the Shefa that Hashem wants to bestow on us? Do we deserve all the Tov that He wants to give us? Do we deserve to be close to Him? The Baal Shem Tov gave a powerful mashal to understand this. He said the king hid himself away in a chamber in his castle. And he set up all different barriers, but they were just illusions, optical illusions. And in between there were like different wild animals there. And anyone who wanted to come close to the king had to overcome all these challenges to get close. And some people tried and tried, but they gave up very quickly. There was one person who didn't give up. One person started to call out, Abba! Abba! Lama zavtani? Why have you left me behind? Why have you left me out of the palace? I'll never forget. I think it was Rosh Hashanah, or one of these, I think it was Rosh Hashanah. We were davening together in Hamayan, and we had all the kids there, and we were in one of these places of davening, I think Avinu Malkeinu, and a little kid came crying into the shul, calling for his father, Abba! Abba! And we all turned to this kid, and I think everyone started crying at that moment, because we saw ourselves in that little kid, crying tears, and all we wanted to be is in the embrace of our loving Father, of the Ribono Shel Olam. And that's all we're calling out for. And that's all we want. Mim koimcha. Mim koimcha. The cry out to break that din, to break that judgment. The first day of Rosh Hashanah is a very strict day. The Sfarim HaKadoshim say that a person shouldn't even talk on the first day of Rosh Hashanah, except for the words of Torah and Tefillah. Because everything is held in very strict judgment. Everything is looked under the microscope and it's being judged. Should we continue or shouldn't we continue? Should we continue this relationship or not? Should I keep this world going or not? But when a Yid grabs that shofar, and like a baby, the baby's most powerful cry is the cry that he cries without any words. The cry that the baby cries, that the child cries, me'umka deliba, from the depths of his soul. And that cry of the shofar, when we cry, Abba, Abba, we can't even say the words. All we can do is do this. Abba, I'm calling out to you. By the way, this is the holy shofar that I blew in Hamayan nearly 20 years ago, that they gave me as a gift before Rosh Hashanah on our first Rosh Hashanah together. I blow this shofar every year. So precious and dear to me. It's got such a beautiful, soulful sound. And I feel like that child calling out, Abba, every time I go through it. That's the Tkiyah, Hashem, I'm calling out to you. But then we've realized that throughout the year we've separated, that relationship has sort of been broken up. Lishvorim, I've broken, Shavor is Lishboir. I've broken that relationship. That relationship has just been shattered, but it's still, maybe it's still salvageable. Maybe we can still put those few pieces together. But when I keep on going and I just keep on making the same mistakes over and over again, I sort of shatter it into little pieces. And that's the truah. It's all broken. Maybe I just like the theme of what we've been talking about. I can't come higher anymore. I can't come closer anymore. My hay is so far away, it's become so lost that I can't hear the sound of the shofar. Like David HaMelech says, Ta'isi kiseh oived. I've become lost like a lost sheep. I've become like a lost sheep and I've forgotten the sound of the shofar because I've shattered that relationship into little pieces. But kinderlach, I mean, we're all the kinderlach of the Ribono Shel Olam. I'm used to talking to my Talmidim, calling them kinderlach. We're all kinderlach, we're all children of the Ribono Shel Olam. Chevra, we must never give up hope. We must know that through our tshuva And through our avodah, and through our authentic relationship with Doidi, Anila Doidi, our beloved Yedid Nefesh, we can reconnect. And only can we reconnect, we take all those broken pieces, and from those broken pieces we make a Tkiya Gedola. And maybe all those Tkiyas Gedola that we're going to blow this year will usher in, will bring in the ultimate Tkiya that we're waiting for, the Shofar Shel Mashiach. That Shofar that we're waiting for, that time that we're waiting for, of Mashiach Tzidkenu to come, B'mehera v'yameinu, and he's going to play that Shofar that's going to awaken us all, that's going to bring us all back together. That's going to bring us all back together. Let's play a few more Nigunim and maybe, we'll finish off with that. This is a song by Eitan Katz. I love this song. And it's really relevant to everything we've been speaking about tonight. Ki karov eilecha hadavar ma'od. The pasuk we're going to read. Ki karov eilecha hadavar ma'od. It's so close to you. What is this thing that's so close to you? Is tshuva. Hashem's so close. Ma'od. Ma'od is something that's so close that you can't even quantify. You can't put a limit on it. It's ma'od. It's so close. Beficha uvilvavcha la'asoisei. It's in your mouth, in your heart, to express. And then he breaks out into a nigun. Because really all it is like we blew the shofar. It's the nigun of the neshama, that yearning to come close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Let's try it out. Let's see if we've got the right key here. See how we go. Ki karoi ve'lechod hadavar Adonai. Okay, let's finish off with this. Our first Yom Kippur together in Hamayan, we're in the back of Caulfield Shul, and it was a full house, it was packed. It was probably one of the most highest spiritual moments of my life. And we came to Ne'ilah. And the Olam was so high, we had such a unbelievable Rosh Hashanah, Slichas, and a Yom Kippur. And we were just singing away, and I was leading the tefillah then. And we were just in a different world, And when we finished, and I never did this again, we finished an hour after the Zman. An hour after the Zman. People were fasting for an hour after the Zman. I don't know if we could get away with it today. But people had become so neshamadik that they didn't even feel hungry. And at the end of the tefillah, we broke into dance with this nigun. And the Aryeh says that a person who has this hargosha to dance at the end of a tefillah, and has a simcha at the end of a tefillah, it's a siman min hashamayim that his tefillah has been accepted. Chevra. I wish you all a ksiva nachasima tova, a good gebenched year, a sweet year, a year full of brachas, a year where we're all aligned with our tafkid, our personal tafkid and our tafkid as a nation to bring, and we can all be zoicha this year, Tavshin Pei Aleph, to a year of shefa and of geula. Amen.